we have Sir Decimus Marius Tacitus.
Thank you. This is my first foray back into period poetry, and it is a tweak of a sonnet I based off of The Lady Arabella by Amelia Lanier, a remarkable female poet who enjoyed the patronage of Queen Elizabeth I. I use the imagery related to North Shield, where I originally began my SDA journey, about Count Yehuda ben Yitzhak. To Count Yehuda, noble, learned lord, uncle, and friend, your voice rings loud and sincere. Rare rose, on your words I attend, on your loyal heart let all hear. Upright and noble, to friendship inspire, duty bound I must admire. You come like the griffin of old, courage and fierceness met with pride. Across leagues when stories are told, yea, though you modestly hide. Back where my heart did abide, the North Star shines bright and clear, on a soul I know as royal peer.
That was lovely, thank you. Next up, we have Sir Decimus Marius Tacitus of the Middle Alliance with Stroiskald Lament. On deck, we have Master Cormac McTarran.
Good morning, known world. This is Stroiskald's Lament. This was first composed in 2000 during the year of the plague. Most notable influences are the family sagas, Ale Saga in particular. Stroiskald hearth chained, as the world is bound by Grendel's breath. My flesh biter weeps in dark as she weeps. Volan's fire stokes bones to spear dance and sword song and shield boss drum. Sore will be harvest for glory fields with dead foemen unsown, parched and unsated without heart sap to nourish. I fear being branded a coal biter, girdle girth growing as gaze turns into hearth fire. Spirit aches to take place with kinsmen and war dance. No crow's gold hoarded, thrall shall I be in winter without war gardens of spring growing bold roses to ply my craft. Harvest of warriors slain remains draught. Vanir and Aesir halls lack the din. Many treasures fell to hell. Rolker, kin alone, shall Fimble winter slacken grasp, for Baldur's reign never seeming nearing. Damned Grendel breath.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Master Cormac McTarran of the West Alliance with their work, A Good Day to Die. On deck, we have Lord Ishmael Stedfast read.
Good morning. I'm Master Cormac McTarran of Artemisia. This poem is about love and loss and the pain a man feels when a woman reaches into his chest and rips his heart out by the roots. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's about fighting. The morning sun was rising as we stood upon the field, prepared for the coming battle, vowing not to yield. Across the way stood our foes as dawn's rays touched the sky. I felt death's icy presence and thought, today is a good day to die. We started at them slowly, drawing up our battle line. Heartily I yelled, my friends, tonight in hell we dine. The drums and pipes chimed in, lifting our spirits high. I marched steadily forward and thought, today is a good day to die. The enemy advanced as well, their pikemen at the front. Our shield wall came together, prepared to take the brunt. With cavalry on our flanks, our archers standing by, I tightened my grip on my sword, thinking today is a good day to die. We started at a trot and let out a mighty yell. At them, boys, our chieftain cried, send them straight to hell. The cavalry thundered past as arrows filled the sky. I heard death laughing softly and thought, today is a good day to die. Our two lines came together with the sound of steel on steel. In the noise and confusion, my mind began to reel. The screams of wounded soldiers rose above the battle cries. Slashing left and right, I thought, today is a good day to die. The minutes turned to hours. I fought for every breath. The smell of bloomin' heather was replaced by the stench of death. The afternoon sun beat down as vultures circled high. Hacking down another man, I thought, today is a good day to die. My arms were growing weary. My legs, they felt like lead. My muscles were on fire. From a dozen wounds I bled. I saw the glint of steel out of the corner of my eye. I felt the blade bite deep and thought, today is a good day to die. I turned and cut the bastard down, but I knew I was too late. I tried to staunch my flowing blood, but the wound had sealed my fate. I heard my brother's victory shout as I looked death in the eye. I laughed and said, just as I thought, today was a good day to die.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Lord Ishmael Stedfast Reed of the East Atlantia Alliance with Alone I Stand. On deck is Henry Best.
All right, hello everyone. This is a poem written after the form of a 12th century troubadour poem called Lar Amara, which was written in the Trobar Cluse style, known for its intricacy and complexity. In this case, this poem has 11 different rhyming sounds that must repeat each stanza, and line lengths that must vary between a single syllable and 7 syllables. So here is Alone Stand I. Alone stand I. Memory surrounds, biting, mid Maestral's fanged blow. Unseen claws on ill favor's paws. The past's fell hounds near in the drear. Deep, thy absence is an aching quickthorn which hedges me within a lonely veil, while I'm dying for thy son's smile in my sky. I look and sigh over the grounds, floating ghost-like in caged woe between was and all of my flaws shan't be expounds. Jeer, end of year. Thy cold offense is weakening and worn compared to she from whose leaving I quail. Thy chill coiling, heaven be, were she nearby. Here, mother dye bloomed all around last spring. My love, whispering low, seemed keen. Cause for blossoming haws, sweet without bounds. Cheer from thee, dear. Along the fence, green and flowering, reborn I'd lie with thee. Now Flora's charms do fail. There is nothing but cockspurs my throat to tie. But hist, hard by, Philomel sounds, and wings from nest of Maybuds. No Athene vase should show the true cause of her unbound fear, though the ear too well can sense why she must sing. To mourn with grim beauty her bitter, vengeful tale, the vile lapwing from whose violence she must fly. Thy keening cry, May Queen uncrowned, doth ring. Nightingale in late snow, thy scene draws from my mind due pause at thy renown. Clear must I steer from sour pretense, that I might wring rough-shorn fruit from a tree whose branches elsewhere trail. Whitethorn's brief sting fades, come spring, spirits ally. Like a maid shy, dawn peaks skybound, wellspring of hope in prime's first glow. Serene laws of nature's first cause spin a new round year. May's premiere is the incense which florets bring. This morn I am set free from self-lashing travail. No longer cling to what might have been or why. Go I now hence, chained by nothing. Reborn from loss's debris, rises poet Ishmael. And this I sing. Thou thy own self dignify. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Next up, we have Henry Best standing in for his apprentice, Madame Ursula Mortimer. They are representing the Middle Alliance with Siege Triptych.
Good morning. Ursula Mortimer has written a triptych series inspired by current events. This is blank verse in the style of Shakespeare's storytelling in the tragedies and histories, especially Henry V's chorus. Ursula has been struck down by a medical emergency and is bedridden. I am here to honor my apprentice's promise. Siege Triptych, Part 1, On Watch. Long hours past midnight, shaken from his cot, dressed in darkness, through halls without a sound, past a lone sentry to take up his watch. In armor polished bright, although no foe nor friend might see him so, all point device upon the battlement, he took his stand. The air was chill, and whispers all around of ghostly breezes made it bitterer. Yet faithful and alert, he fixed his eyes into the unseen darkness. Somewhere lurked an invisible enemy who made no sound. Far off, his fellows, veiled in darkness too, maintained their watches to the compass points, invisible to one another, yet in unison and silence, each one's thought with ardor shouted the self-same intent. Though danger come, it shall not get by us. Part 2, Under Siege. 10 long months had the castle been besieged, and those within deprived of daily joys, of pleasures, company, safety itself. Within the walls came sickness, fear, and want. Physicians labored without respite. Guards fell every day to deadly, unseen darts that crossed the walls. Yet not the worst of pains these dangers were. The suffering of the mind tormented more. Though sun shone down, it seemed that necessary walls barred light and air. No breath, no inspiration could them pass. And those once counted wise stood with the rest, helpless to strike the unrelenting foe. One hope we had of succor. All did wait upon our allies' force, a powerful queen, far distant, hidden. What clamorous welcome we gave the messenger whose trumpet sang across the foe's lines, heralding relief. Our marshal took fresh courage then and raised the standard, rallying all to one effort, to hold steadfast until their help arrived. Part 3, Victory. And when the enemy was driven off, and we, weary survivors, could emerge to see the narrow sky grow wide above, the streets and fields seemed strange and overbroad after the safe confinement of our walls. Even as we praised our brave deliverers and reveled in our freedom newly won, we mourned the missing, lost in those dark months, buried in haste with scarce a song, our grief unmeasurable. All we could offer them was a promise. We will remember you. My thanks to Ursula Mortimer for these excellent poems and to the audience for their attention. Be well.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us on behalf of your apprentice. Next up, we have Krania of the West Alliance with the prologue to Double Wars. On deck, we have Lady Ceara of Novgorod.
Yes, and yes. Greetings. I am, wait, camera, is it working? Yes. Okay, greetings. I am coming to you from far northern Drachenwald, where, as you can see, while it is spring, our snow is not actually completely gone. My inspiring piece is Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, which prologue starts out with what spring is like in Britain in April. And I instead will share what spring is like in the far north and the pilgrimage that it inspires us to make. The one thing you need to know is that this weekend should have been Drachenwald's largest event, Double Wars, at which our important holy war happens, the Kanaka bread war, the Swedish hard bread. And it is vitally important to fight over which side of the hard bread one should butter. And those of you who live elsewhere may not have known that, and it's vital for this particular poem. Come May, when snow is gone from all Nordmark, day has banished months of cold and dark. Long hours of sun have worked their magic strong, inspiring us to raise our voice in song, as roads are clear and safe and dry again. Now pounding of the drums of war begin. With every meal and breaking of the bread, our families split and wish their siblings dead on this one point. They never can agree which side to spread their butter or their brie. The flat or holy side, each will defend, yet ere they take up arms to rip and rend. First, must they clean their swords and polish mail, sew banners bright and build a chest dovetail. In every home across this northern land, folk pack so much their horse can hardly stand. They bring it all, their home away from home, to Double Wars, the place to which we roam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, that was lovely. Next up, we have Lady Ceara of Novgorod of the East Atlantia Alliance with This Hall. On deck, we have Lord Thomas Groet.
Thank you. My piece is a Norse-style Edda inspired by Her Excellency Nezhka's first rule of Bardic, which is never apologize. Thank you. Do not come into this hall, eyes shame-shrouded, whispering words weakening the worth of that which you bear, mumbling you'll not the magic make of blood-red rubies and bersingamon bright, gold glowing, fed by dwarven forge fire. Instead, stride strong, hand held high, clenched chains, cry carnelian I carry, bronze I bear, blue glass beads birthed by Venice's vaunted guild, smith struck silver, metal once molten, cooled and cast to men's crafting. Think you only dwarven gold here holds sway? Only by Bragi's blood should sagas be sung, poetry permitted? Nay! Clarion cry to the crows, storm circling skies overhead. Let ravens raucous repeat, echo your stories, sagas, songs, until your word fame is written in the winds. Thank you.
I love that, thank you. Next up, we have Lord Thomas de Groet of the Middle Alliance with Though Far I Go. On deck, we have Thisbe Elisande Le Blanchette.
Thank you, Lady Margot. I am Lord Thomas de Groet of the Barony of Northkeep in the Stellar Kingdom of Ceara. My piece is a villanelle that is a late 16th century French poetic form with 2 repeated refrain lines. Though far I go, one land my heart will hold. Her people strong, her lands are free and wide, a sable star upon a field of gold. My homeland sweet, my people brave and bold. No matter where I go, roam, my thoughts abide. Though far I go, one land my heart will hold. A history of valor known from old. In battle grim, one banner is our guide, a sable star upon a field of gold. We travel far to war in climate cold, to fight with allies ever by our side. Though far I go, one land my heart will hold. Each day new heroes come within our fold. Our flag flies high, we follow it with pride, a sable star upon a field of gold. The bravery of Ceara told, for king and country far away we ride. Though far I go, one land my heart will hold, a sable star upon a field of gold. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Thisbe Alessandra La Blanchette of the West Alliance with Writer's Block. On deck, we have Baroness Maebdh ni Siobhan.
The poetry style I'm doing is called a sestina, which is traced back to 12th century Provence, though the earliest example in English is from 1579. The form consists of six stanzas of 6 lines each, followed by a 3-line envoy, with the words that end each line of the stanza used as line endings in each of the following stanzas, rotated in a set pattern and replacing the rhyme scheme. Letters align in senseless formation, perplexing symbols languishing helplessly. Lost in the language's illogical mess, the pen moves on its own, blazing wild words. Sentences, paragraphs, rambling, nothing. Seeking direction, searching for beauty. Each syllable, a silent prayer to bleed beauty. Yet instead, they conjoin in a dubious formation, creating meaningless, mindless mountains of nothing. With invisible chains, vision is bound helplessly. When these miles and piles of pointless words reveal little more than a broken mind's mess, it all falls apart, the remnants strewn in a mess. Desperately embrace chaos in lieu of beauty, stumbling over the walkway of all these wrong words that rattle and shake to break their formation, that shatter and spread over the crowded page helplessly. All of these efforts amounting to nothing. Truly, what can come of these wanderings but nothing? Running ink, smudged pages, a black, blotchy mess, with our unnerved writer to witness it helplessly. Yet somehow, this unruly imagery begins to unravel beauty. Something shines from the pieces that align in a new formation, and that light suddenly shows the true sense in the words. Powerful pen versus sword type of words that we seem as if they were pulled out of nothing. All the dreams and ideas take a solid formation. From tangled plots and ploys, we begin to see through the mess. Where ugliness was, appears instead beauty. Revived inspiration watches as the work grows on helplessly. With tired eyes, calloused hands, for love laboring helplessly, creativity chasing these wandering words, pausing but for a moment, mystified by miraculous beauty. There is only one thing that could stop it now, nothing. Unleashed, it matters not if the brain is a mess, when disarray marches on in such appealing formation. Helplessly, brilliance is birthed from the nothing. words the catalyst to clear the blocked mess, the formation of clarity, revealing that lost beauty. Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Next up, we have Baroness Maebdh Siobhan of the East Atlantia Alliance with The Legacy. On deck, we have Master Johann Steinerson.
Hello. That mine is a simple poetry form. It has a rhyme scheme, it has a rhythm, but most importantly, it has a story. And I dedicate it to all my SCA and biological family. The queen was old and dying, slipping gentle off to heaven, still aware, although her strength fled every joint. And her children gathered round her, bragged how each would claim her glory, till she feared perhaps that they had missed the point. Do you think that I can leave to you a lifetime of devotion? Do you live this dream or simply go to sleep? Have you learned to serve with honor and to honor those who serve you? Of my truly precious gifts, what will you keep? I can leave to you this castle. By the way, the roof needs mending. All my gold and jewels and land and other wealth. But life and a dream I've given you, yet love, respect, and glory, children, those are things you each must earn yourself. I bequeath to you my strong belief that men can live with honor, that chivalry and love are worth the fight, that great strength and simple beauty, fine art and humble service are worthy things and should be kept in sight. And I leave to you this challenge: teach and learn, both lead and follow, be it sword or needle, harp or bow or pen. Do you learn from older, wiser folk and give your strength and spirit to keep this dream alive, as we did then. For I cannot leave you the joy I felt as I've watched you grow and flourish, nor the pride each time your father fought with valor on the field, nor the deep, enduring sadness that my death at last is ending, when I saw him carried home upon his shield. The old queen's spirit slipped away to where her lord was waiting. At first her children stood and wept, bereft. Then they looked into each other's eyes and saw themselves reflected, and they understood the legacy she'd left.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Next up, we have Master Johann Steinerson of the Middle Alliance with On a Reluctant Warrior. Next up, we have Lady Sugawara no Name on deck. Sorry.
Hello. I wrote this sonnet in the Petrarchan style in honor of all novice SCA fighters who are a little afraid to step onto the battlefield and test their mettle for the first time. The Petrarchan sonnet is done with an octave, which presents the problem or theme, which is then followed by a sestet, in which an answer is given to the problem or the theme. Is it the lack of coin that doth dissuade this spirit from approaching to the field? No means to fund one's armament or shield, the likes of which some others do parade about the list, wherein a swift swung blade will quickly cause the lesser man to yield? Nay, more 'tis fear of anguish all too real, and thought of pain-racked limbs makes him afraid. But One dwells not on what great wounds may come, nor trembles at the thought of worldly pain when king and country muster for the war. One finds that bruising but a trifling sum when weighed against the riches one may gain with one's sword brothers on a distant shore. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Lady Sugawara Noname of the East Atlantia Alliance with a conversation. On deck, we have Baron James Highgate. Thank you.
I am Sugawara Noname of the East Kingdom. The Japanese tanka is written in 31 syllables with 31 syllables with an upper phrase of 575 and a lower phrase of 77. During the Heian period, tanka were exchanged between lovers. This is such an exchange. Delicate branches, exploding in pink blossoms, brighten the garden. One wonders what spring whispered to prompt such a sudden blush. One hesitant bloom, unnoticed amongst the rest, waits, undecided. It knows spring can be fickle, and tomorrow might be cold. The occasional chill of early spring will be forgotten quickly. The gardener is patient as he goes about his work. Arigato.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Next up, we have Baron James Highgate of East Atlantia Alliance with wishes. On deck, we have Lady Talia de Morales.
Thank you, Lady Margot, assembled judges, audience, and all fellow performers. As a chatelaine in our society, I have often been asked about the ideals of our society. And when we think of the ideals of the society, we think of courtesy and honor and chivalry, which are all very fine. But I would posit to the assembled that equality is as much a modern virtue as a medieval one. In our period, there is a book titled The City of Ladies, written by Madame Christine de Pizan, wherein she posits that a city would be better run by women because men are dumb and smell funny, basically. And in honor of my lady wife, who I wrote this for, and Madame de Pizan, I would ask you to imagine a magic lantern there upon a shore, and then a little girl laughing like all her days before. As she lifts the buried treasure from the sand into her sight, a djinn appears before her and asks for her delight. Will she wish to be the bravest, the brightest, or the bold? Will she wish for life eternal and a summer ever gold? Will she wish for health and family every day of every year? Will she wish to call back loved ones so the departed may be near? Will she wish to change the world and for every war to cease? Will she wish for love and freedom and every soul at peace? Will she wish to cure all illness and banish all the blindness? Or will she wish for hope and mercy and all of human kindness? And yet, I know her thoughts there before the djinn as she wishes all her wishes just so she'd be thin. So study what you're saying when you touch a child's heart. And if you call her pretty or tell her that she's smart, for the words we use define her as a person true and whole. So let her value valor and the sunlight in her soul. Oh, take care of what you wish for within the sight of youth. For the body is only clay and the soul the only truth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Lady Talia de Morales of the East Atlantia Alliance with Girl, You're a Dawn Herself. On deck, we have Master Terran the Wayward.
All right, thank you. I'm Talia, and I will be reading a love poem situated roughly turn of the millennium Greece in unrhymed dactylic hexameter, which allows liberal use of spondies, thank goodness. Girl, you are dawn herself. You singly are every best part of morning. You always shine as the windows do, pouring the liquor of new light. Now no greater prize is than the blood-blooming wine of your kiss. Who could eat pears after your lips, or water drink after the dew and the milk of your skin, born of night's end and clover? Should I outsail clever Odysseus, wasted would such a voyage be. There is nothing left on the black earth for the longing. Content though I am in delight, yet I still wonder what wonders lie in sacred realms where the divine slowly dine on bright ambrosia. Glassy rivers run fleet through the hearts of gods, clear as noon air, and if found to be favored, poets say a man may breach the firmament. But I, mortal, honor the gods. No hamartia breathes in me. No nectar would I drink even on the very foot of hard Olympus. Faithful that I am, though restless, my pious thoughts do lie instead due west towards the blissful Hesperides, where it said evening's nymphs do tend a rich and greening garden there, an orchard nigh the sea, beloved of Hera, that first wife, who blesses love. And when she goes away, you still may see golden curves, goddesses, moving to and fro. Close your eyes and see them yet, goddesses, moving to and fro. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Master Terran the Wayward of the Middle Alliance with Newman's Question. On deck, we have Andromaca of Lesbos.
Greetings, everyone from Kingdom Meridies. This piece, The Newman's Question, is an English sonnet sequence. A new face was in our camp at the war. His clothes were borrowed, yet they fit him well. He heard our stories and hosts called for more. Each spoke in turn when to Newman fell. He sat at our fire, watching flame and smoke. His eyes were bright, and yet his face was queer. He thought several moments, then he spoke. He asked, "What does it mean to be a peer? Your stories speak of knights and kings and more, tales of laurel leaves and pelican deeds. Defense and chivalry fight to the fore. Yet confused I am, lost among the weeds. Your peers, they do run your society. Since they do, where's there a place for me?" The crowd fell silent, and the hosts did speak. "We have failed in our quest to be our best. Pray give us answers of the land you seek. Your eyes see the faults we hide in our chest. Defense and chivalry fight for the dream. As peers, do we strive to give space for all? Laurel and pelican brighten the gleam, and try as we might, there are times we fall. County and duchy have each served as crown, for peers far and wide are servants to all. The king and the queen do honor renown, for without every member, the dream does fall. So thank you, young Newman, for being so wise, reminding us of where our duty lies. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Last, but certainly not least, we have Andromache of Lesbos from the West Alliance with Treatise on Lust.
Limera from Ontario. This was my first attempt to writing a sonnet and completely missed the mark. So I ask that you enjoy my mistake. Of the deadly sins, rightly all condemned, it is lust that wins in the bitter end. For lust stems from want at its very core. It is more nuanced than a common whore. Avarice lusts gold, wrath lusts for violence. Envy lusts others hold, sloth lusts dark quietness. Pride lusts for accolades, gluttony lusts food craves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that performance, we have now heard from all of our combatants and poets. I want to thank everyone for their patience, our performers and tech team for their fantastic work, our audience for allowing us to share with them, and our judges for completing quite a difficult task. So just as a reminder, judges will be scoring based on authenticity, composition, creative expression, and technique. Again, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed these recitations as much as I did, and have a great war.